seems the truck belongs to a Carlos and Maria Gonzalez, undocumented immigrants, outstanding removal order.
You guys cannot barge in here like this. I know you're used to dealing with people who are scared and vulnerable, but if you don't get out of this truck, I will spatchcock you.
What did they do except give up everything so I could grow up in a country that we thought was the most compassionate place in the world? Sorry, kid. We're just following government orders.
Spatchcock, I feel like she maybe used the wrong word there. I don't know. Why don't we ask Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, former NYPD officer, host of the Dan Bongino Show podcast, and author of Spygate, The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump. Good morning. What do you say, Dan, about all of this Murphy Brown stuff?
Well, let me say first, I had no idea at all what spatchcocking was, and thank God the producer, Stephanie, told me. I thought it was a mistake, too. I thought it had something to do with the spatula. But it's an allusion towards something you wouldn't want to have done with you if you were a human being. Listen, there's no issue out there that Hollywood and the intelligentsia and academia has misread America more on than immigration. And I can prove it to you guys. I mean, look at what happened in this election. The Democrats did well, right, in the midterms. They had a good day. It wasn't a great day historically, but it's a decent day. They win back the House, lost in the Senate, and did okay in the governorships. But look at what happened. The progressives out there who ran on open borders type platforms and this immigration policy, it's anti-Donald Trump, they lost. They got crushed badly. Matter of fact, the Republican in Florida, Ron DeSantis, who ran a commercial with his kid building the wall, literally, got 44% of the Hispanic vote. They are misreading America terribly on this issue because chaos is not a brand and chaos at the border does not sell to
And Dan,
anyone.
what are they missing about ICE? Because ICE does a lot of great work, but they do a lot of things like sex trafficking, drug trafficking, things that you want to abolish ICE and you want to call them, dehumanize them. You're dehumanizing the great work that they do as well.
Well, what's really grossly offensive about this is having been a former law enforcement officer at the city level with the NYPD and the federal level with the Secret Service. These are men and women who get up every morning. Pete, listen, you know, like you when you were on the military side, nobody's getting rich there, okay? Nobody does it for the money. They don't do it for the fame or the glory. They do it because of a commitment to service. These are very intelligent people who could go into the private sector and do quite well for themselves. And what do? They defend our borders. They defend our borders against child trafficking, drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, terrorism, and you have this Hollywood crowd who wants to use them as some kind of a foil for some sick political message. And you want to make it even worse? A lot of ICE agents out there, a large swath of them, are Hispanic men and women who want to defend this country as well.
Yeah,
it's really offensive.
It is very offensive, but you have to give the left credit for at least playing on the culture side. I mean, conservatives spend a lot of money on think tanks, and the left actually does a good job of going into the culture. The sitcom's not very funny, but it will impact some people. But I think you're right, Dan. They're on the wrong side of the issue. The American people don't agree with a lot of it, but this is a good way to start to sway some minds and. Conservatives are just not in that space at all.
You know, Dan, there is also someone on the left who has a bit of a nuanced problem, and that is Hillary Clinton. You may remember her on the immigration issue in Europe, right? So she tells The Guardian this. She says, I think Europe needs to get a handle on migration because that is what lit the flame. Well, she takes some heat for that. So then she has to tweet this. I have always been and remain a staunch advocate of comprehensive immigration reform that's true to our values and treats every person with dignity, provides a pathway to full and equal citizenship, and brings millions of hardworking people into the formal economy, fixes the family visa backlog, upholds the rule of law, and protects our borders and national security. And then we dug back into the treasure trove just to hit you one more time with her statements in 2015 and 2016. Here's where she was at that time. Listen.
I want to open up the opportunity for immigrants to be able to buy in to the exchanges under the Affordable Care Act.
Of the people, the undocumented people living in our country, I do not want to see them deported. I want to see them on a path to citizenship.
We believe that cooperation is better than conflict. Unity is better than division. Bridges are better than walls.
So, Dan, can you translate? What is her position?
Yes, let me use the Hillary Clinton translator here because I worked with Hillary for a long time. Hillary's like I was watching a show once and they have this new thing called quick change where people walk out with multiple outfits on. I don't know if you've ever seen this, and they change in a blink of an eye. They're called like quick change. This is Hillary. She's a political quick changer. Now what she does is you have to understand about Hillary Clinton. She's running for president, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, let's stop pretending she's not. And what she's doing here is she's trying to triangulate. She thought, given the far left lean of the Democrat field in 2020, that she may be able to triangulate, kind of move down the middle a bit and take this centrist position talking about what happened with Europe and the massive wave of migrants and taking a middle position. She was rebuked immediately, probably by far left donors and activist groups, and she dials it right back. Hillary's principles are what she thinks she needs to get elected, which makes them non-principles. That's what Hillary does. She's changed and quick changed over and over and over and tried to reinvent herself. And I think she's trying to find a pathway to 2020. Guys, it's crystal clear right now. She's at least very seriously considering another run for the presidency. I personally, knowing her and her people, I have absolutely no doubt. Why would she change so quickly on Twitter? She didn't say anything that controversial. Europe has unquestionably had problems with massive waves of migration and the inability to absorb people into the population. There was nothing controversial about that, yet immediately
she's pointing out like a state of fact and then has to retreat from that, which does get your
we learn from
political
Dan.
spidey sense going.
Every time Dan comes on, we learn something. Hillary's running in 2020.
I know.
How about
I
that?
appreciate
Definitely
it.
is good
I
at
learned
that.
what spatchcocking was, so I learned something new today, too.
All right,
you,
Dan.
Happy
Have a good
Thanksgiving,
one.
Dan. Appreciate it.
Take care.
You too, guys. See you later.
All right.
Take
And
care.
we have to turn to some